What's going on, guys? ActionPack79 here, and welcome back to another What I Watched in This Month video. I hope you guys had a great month. My month was sort of bananas. I just had a lot of stuff going on, and that's really why I haven't really posted in a while. I did want to get another What I Watched in This Month video because it's something that I could have waited to post, and there was a reason to wait for it, and so that's really why I'm doing it now. I watched a lot of stuff this month. This is probably the most I've ever watched in this sort of amount of time, but to some of you guys it's like your normal walk in the park, which I really have no idea how. Like I just said, I did watch a lot of stuff this month, and I don't really know if I'm that confident to post an hour-long video of me just talking. So some of the movies that were just rewatches, I'm not gonna really go that in depth about them unless I really noticed some stuff, like some new stuff that I want to talk about. But if it's just a movie that I just decided to put on for the heck of it and didn't really notice anything, I'm not really gonna talk about it. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's hop into what I watched this month.
Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Yeah, probably one of the most insufferable watches I've seen in a super long time. The director in... There's no way.
Bazinga.
Zinga Stewart really doesn't know how to direct anything. He directed a trailer for a Breaking Bad movie. But yet, the movie is an incredibly insufferable watch. And why is that? None of the characters are really likable. Tall girl who looks like the girl from Resident Evil. She's probably one of the most easily hateable characters I've ever seen in any type of film. They start off the film with her saying, "You think your life is hard? Well, I'm 6'1" and wear size 13 in Nikes." Bruh. So, if you want to say that your life is hard, but you're not 6'1" and you don't wear a size 13 in Nikes, and you're not a girl, your life isn't hard at all. Oh, what's that? You're a single divorced mother with 4 kids working 18 different jobs? Oh, sleep it off. You're fine. Oh, wait, what's that? You have stage 4 cancer? Nah, you're fine. Just take an ibuprofen. You'll be all right in the morning. Oh, what about you? Wow, you lost both of your legs in the Vietnam War and have Vietnam flashbacks? Walk it off, pal. I feel like the movie is trying to teach a lesson, like trying to accept who you really are, but you can't really write a story like that if none of the characters are likable at all. And yeah, I know I just talked about the tall girl, but I mean, none of them are. The other tall guy from Mexico or something, I don't even remember where he's not likable at all because he like cheats on her or locks lips with some other girl, and then she gets mad at him even though she was just doing it with this guy who was just bullying her before. Yeah, this movie literally makes 0 sense. I do understand that the movie is trying to put out the message, love yourself even if you look like Lady Dimitrescu.
Whoa, hey.
You can't deliver a hopeful, inspiring, and loving message about yourself if the characters can't even learn to accept themselves. What's your Judy? I gotta look at the cast. Give me a sec. What's it? Bruh. Oh. Okay. So Jodie herself, but Jodie doesn't even learn to accept herself. She does learn to accept herself at the end, but there's no arc to it. But overall, this movie does not work at all. Like I said, it tries to put out a message to a certain audience. And I get it, it's trying to put out a message to a certain audience, but I don't even think the certain audience would appreciate this message just because of the way they display it. Overall, Tall Girl is probably one of my least favorite movies of all time. I have it on my least favorite Letterboxd list. And yeah, that's about it for Tall Girl. By the way, Letterboxd is linked in the... I really just put Cool Cat above, Cool Cat Saves the Kids above, Tall Girl. This is what being a movie YouTuber does to you. Cool Cat Saves the Kids is unironically better than Tall Girl. It has better acting, better costume work, a better writer and director, and better characters. I mean, Cool Cat is probably one of the most likable cinematic characters of all time. That scene when Cool Cat runs to stop the bully is just millions of times better when Flash turns back time. But for real, Cool Cat should have grabbed that Glock and shot that little kid. I mean, come on, that's what we all wanted.
Rockin', rockin' and rollin'. Down to the beach I'm strolling. But the seagulls poke at my head, not fun. I said, seagulls, stop it now.
I watched the Clone Wars movie so that I could do a collab with Josh, and it's so bad. The movie's boring. The story is not interesting at all. It doesn't fit with any of these characters. I like I said in the video, it would have been a little bit better if, say, they had Rex and his squad go to save the baby, or if they had like bounty hunters or something do it, and the Jedi were like the smaller characters in the story. But no, they decided to have big Jedi characters go to save Jabba's son, which looks like a dirty sock. And it makes me think, Star Wars has a lot of underrated characters. They could have done the story with a lesser known Jedi, someone like a Cal Kestis maybe.
Are you username LadiesMan217?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you username LadiesMan217?
Okay, maybe not a Cal Kestis. Jedi Fallen Order did him complete justice. Maybe someone else, like the Bad Batch, like I just said. Like I said, the story doesn't work for me at all. I don't think it's interesting at all. The action is lame whenever it happens. There's no like really cool, memorable fight scenes in this at all. And it's really sad to see this and then Clone Wars, which was so good. And honestly, and if Clone Wars did so good by itself, I can only imagine how much better Clone Wars could have done if this movie was like a box office hit or something, which probably would have never happened. But I mean, hey, we can all have dreams, right? To be honest, I didn't really watch this whole thing, but I mean, hey, what was I gonna talk about? 29 movies? What kind of clown talks about 29? Honest, this movie was just really weird. I mean, there was literally some of the most terrible actors I've ever seen in a film. They literally spent all of their cast money on Liam Neeson. I mean, they tried to have this intimidating Mexican drug cartel leader guy, and he looks like this. I mean, come on, Caillou isn't even Mexican. Why is Caillou the main villain of this? The other guys, so the thing is, this kid is illegal and he's trying to get across the border with his mom, and his mom gets, yeah, she kind of gets hit with that two-piece no salt. And Liam Neeson has to take the kid to Chicago, even though he's illegal, and then he gets to Chicago, and I think Liam Neeson dies or something. I don't remember. He gets hit with that wombo combo from Caillou, and then he sort of just bleeds out on the bus. But the movie ends there. Okay, back to the Mexican kid. So he goes to like his family's house in Chicago. Keep in mind that he's literally illegal. And then they try to have like this happy ending because he found his family again. I mean, isn't Home Slice gonna get deported again? I mean, isn't the U.S. gonna come for him? I don't know. I don't care. They had a happy ending. That's all that matters.
Cause you think me and my mans were stealing? You look pitiable. Pitiful. Look at you. Look, you look so stupid. Do you believe how dumb you look right now? You look so dumb. You look so stupid.
I rewatched The Rise of Skywalker, and it hurts me to say that it got worse. Now, when I first watched it, I didn't think it was bad. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought all the action was good, visuals were great. But now watching it again, I just really don't like it. Now, I'm not really sure who I should blame for this, if I should blame The Last Jedi, or if I should blame The Rise of Skywalker, because honestly, they're both blamable for this. The Rise of Skywalker could have picked up with a story about a holocron hunt trying to find Force-sensitive children that would have incorporated that little kid there. Or The Last Jedi could have ended off with something with Snoke's body, and then obviously revealing that it was Palpatine the whole time, obviously building up hype for the Rise of Skywalker. But none of them do that. Now, I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. The writing feels like it took minutes to complete. All the Palpatine stuff isn't built up at all in the other films. We have completely forgotten about Palpatine. There's not a single reference to him. in the whole trilogy, and then they want to bring him back and act like he's been here the whole time, pulling the strings and they want to act like it's like a clever twist when it's really not. It's not at all. Overall, this movie is honestly really sad for me to say all this stuff about it, because I did really enjoy it when I first watched it. Only positive I can really give about this is the visuals. The color palette is nice, the action is pretty entertaining, and the scene where all the Jedi speak to Rey is probably one of my most favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. But that's about it. I watched the New Mutants, and it's okay. It's not bad. I definitely wouldn't say that it's a good movie, but it's a pretty fun watch. I think if it's a film that you're watching with your friends, it's gonna go a lot better, because you guys could just laugh at some of the stuff, because I mean some of the stuff is pretty laughable. I did watch it with my other friend, and we had a pretty fun time. I think some of the spooky stuff really worked for it. It was nice to see some of these bootleg Slendermans pulling up to the party, and yeah, that's really about it. There's not really anything that I hate about the film, but there's not really anything I particularly love about it. Seeing a smaller scaled film in a small area like this that was easy to keep track of made the film entertaining, and it didn't really drag at any points because of this.
Funny monkey, lovable, I love funny monkey. Funny monkey, funny.
Yeah, I don't really know why I rewatched Rampage, because I didn't really like it when I first saw it, and I still don't really like it. It's just weird to see Dwayne Johnson fighting freaking Godzilla and this giant wolf thing with Curious George. How? Explain how this man's did not die. Explain how this man's did not break anything. I mean, Homeslice could have at least broken an ankle. I mean, a finger at least. I mean, at least a chipped fingernail. But no, this man's comes out like he was, like it was just his regular Sunday afternoon workout after church. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah, I just don't like Dwayne Johnson. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't like Dwayne Johnson, because he's so overused in all of these movies. And it's just really weird. He's always the muscle guy. I mean, he's really in everything. It's like whenever they just need a brute, they always use Dwayne Johnson or Dave Bautista. And I would honestly take Dave Bautista, because at least he looks intimidating. But overall, Rampage is one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, it is a pretty enjoyable and entertaining film, so that's why it's probably gonna get a positive score from me. Yeah, I was really excited to watch this movie, and I did not really like it. Now, before I get into the bad stuff, I want to talk about the good stuff. I love the animation. I really do. I think the animation is just beautiful. My eyes were always glued to the screen at every single moment. I did not even blink while I was watching. No, I'm just kidding. I obviously blinked. Okay, that wasn't funny, Jaden. But yeah, the animation was good. I really did like the animation. I think the story is a cool concept. I like all the characters. The characters are all very likable and enjoyable to see on screen. I really do like the sound design. I like this black ink monster thing. But once he gets the TikTok haircut and starts eating people, I think that's when the film starts to fall apart. I feel like the last 20-30 minutes dragged, and it felt super long. The first hour or two was pretty entertaining, and I thought it was going to be pretty good, but no! It was just too weird for my liking, and I just didn't really enjoy it.
All right, Lewis, knock him dead. That was a figure of speech. Please don't kill anyone.
I watched Meet the Robinsons for the first time, and it's pretty solid. It's not terrible. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but I did think it was pretty great. I love how Disney put a whole bunch of heart into it, and you can really feel that, and I think it really does work for these characters. I do like all the characters. All the characters are likable in their own ways, dislikable in their own ways when they need to be. I think Oryx is Wilbur is probably my favorite out of all of them. And yeah, overall, the animation is, it's lower Disney, but I wouldn't say it's bad, but I think the bright colors do help it feel do like balance it out. Overall, I am going to give Meet the Robinsons a very positive score. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, not one of the best animated movies that I've seen, but still a pretty great watch.
Let me put it in a language you can understand. Oh, so sorry. No charm in here. You deliver. Wrong place.
I watched Killer Bean forever, and it's pretty great. I probably would unironically give this a 4.5 stars out of 5. It's that good to me. I don't really see this as like a dumb YouTube video project. I do try to watch this as like unironically like an actual well-made film, and when you do watch it like that, it comes off as a lot better than just cappuccino beans killing each other. I think the jokes are super funny in this film, and they do land. It feels like the Rush Hour type humor, like the first movie. It's just super. It's a super funny watch. I think the animation. Oh my gosh, the animation is hilarious. It's kind of dookie, but like at the same time, it does help advance the film, in my opinion, because it makes it funnier. If you haven't seen this movie, I actually do recommend it. It's a pretty good time, and yeah, that's really about it for Killer Bean Forever. Oh, and I did get to watch it in my friend's theater room, which was pretty fun. Next up is Rush Hour 2, and this is a really good sequel. I really don't know if I find this one or the first one funnier, but I really do think that there are some really clever jokes in this one, and I think the action is great. I love the whole scene in the spa. I think that scene is super funny. I think they had a lot of potential for some really good jokes there, and they really delivered on all the ones that I thought they were gonna do, which made it a pretty fun watch. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of my favorite movies, and a worthy sequel to the first one. I'm definitely gonna give it a positive score, and I will be rewatching this soon. Next up, I watched I Am Legend, which is another one of my favorites. It's probably my favorite Will Smith performance. I just think he does a really good job playing a character that's just completely isolated and crazy. I do think this film, the first half of the film, is really, really good. A lot of people don't like the movie when the random lady and the son come into play, and yeah, I do think it definitely gets a tiny bit lower for me, but I wouldn't go as far to say that it ruins the whole film. The thing that kind of, it doesn't really ruin the film for me, but I don't really like the ending. I feel like the ending was kind of generic. You know, they get the cure, they go find the people there, and I think it would have been cool if there was like a twist ending there, like when they opened up them doors and there was like just zombies pulling up in the crib there, like, bro, what you doing? I just think it would have been a cool twist if they did something better with that scene. But yeah, overall, I would give this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a positive score. It is one of my favorite movies. I do love the action in it. I think the zombies look cool. The scene with the dog gets me every single time. And yeah, this is a pretty good film, and I recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. Then I watched Greenland with my friend. This is a really good movie to watch with people because it is so tense. This is probably one of the most thrilling movies I've seen in a while. Like, you're constantly wondering what's gonna happen next, and every time you think like it can't get worse, it somehow gets worse. It's definitely one of the better end-of-the-world movies that I've seen. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it's still a really good, it's a fun ride. I had a great time with it, especially watching it with my friends, because it was just like, oh, I'm not going to spoil this one because I really want some of you guys who haven't seen it to watch it, because I think it's a great watch. And if I spoiled it, it's kind of just going to ruin the movie. Did I really just say if I spoil it, if it's not going to... Nah, if I spoil it, it's going to make the movie better. Okay, so it actually is the next day, the next morning, and I just woke up and I realized I forgot to talk about Lord of the Rings and the Two Towers, and it was really good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the first one, but still a solid film. I do love the fact that we got to go a lot deeper into Gollum's character, and I really enjoyed that, especially because Andy Serkis is my favorite actor, and I really just got to see more of his skill and what he can do, and it was actually really heartbreaking to see some of the stuff that they did with Gollum, and it's weird. It makes you feel for him after seeing him being a menace and sort of the other ones and someone that you really despise, but the way they can bring him down to someone that you actually care and love about in this film, I really like that. I didn't really have a problem with the subplot with the Ents. I thought that was fine. I mean, I thought they were kind of cool. Nothing really special, nothing really to hate about it, but definitely not something incredible about the film. But I wouldn't go as far to say that it ruined the film for me. The thing that sort of knocked the film a little bit lower for me was the runtime. I definitely felt it in this one. The first one I didn't feel it as much. I'm not saying that the film was boring, but I could definitely feel the runtime. Like, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I could feel it. I could feel why this is pretty long, but I still enjoyed it. Another thing I really liked was that they tried to mush in a little bit of humor into this with Gimli, and I actually love that. I think it works really well with his character. And yeah, overall, this is a great, solid second entry to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I cannot wait to watch Return of the King. I finally finished 2001: A Space Odyssey. I started this movie in like March, and then I finally finished it, and I'm glad I did. I really do like the second half of this film. Right when it gets to Hal and them all in space, I think that's when the film is more of an enjoyable watch. And me personally, I did enjoy it. I didn't get the ending on the first time, but after rewatching it, I sort of do now. Definitely explaining that the monolith, every time the monolith there, something remarkable happens in the mankind stuff. Like, for example, after it came, the monkeys got smarter, then, what's his name? I don't know. The guy went into it, and then he turned into a fetus. It's still kind of confusing, and like I said when I was talking about Spirited Away, when I was talking about Spirited Away, I do like to understand the film myself and not have a fanboy explain it to me, but this was just more enjoyable than Spirited Away was. And the visuals, dude, the visuals are, oh my goodness, do I even have to talk about the visuals? No, I don't, because most of you have already seen the visuals and you know what I'm talking about. Next film.
I don't remember him. You will remember me.
And then I watched Chadwick Boseman's 42, and this was really solid. I do think that it is Chadwick Boseman's best performance because we really get to see him put his heart and soul into this character. Not that he didn't do that in Black Panther, but it was just a really more powerful performance in this one. I feel like his Black Panther performance is definitely his most known one, but I feel like it's a little bit overrated. He's not really doing anything groundbreaking in that, but in this, he's really good. I feel like that scene where he breaks that bat was probably one of the most powerful scenes in the movie, because it really showed up how much he was just holding up inside of him, because he wasn't allowed to lash out, otherwise he would have been kicked off instantly. Another part I really liked of the film was when the guy said, like, how about we all wear 42 tomorrow, that way they can't tell us apart. I really thought that part was really solid, and I think this film does a great way of portraying the segregation and the Jim Crow laws that were going on during that time. And overall, it's a really solid film. 100% my favorite Chadwick Boseman. I really got to see his other movie when he's the singer guy. I don't remember, but I'm definitely gonna check that out. But overall, for now, this is gonna be my favorite Chadwick Boseman performance.
Showtime.
I rewatched The Incredibles. It's just as great as I remember. Then again, this is just a rewatch. Didn't really notice anything new. I'm gonna give it a really positive ranking. One of my favorite Pixars. Let's move on.
I done went back in myself, felt like hell. Got risked it, pace yourself. How you living? Know you thrilling, off a sinning. How I got my stripes and business back and out.
I rewatched Tenet, and oh my goodness, this is a whole lot better on rewatch. I watched it for the first time at like some drive-in theater in Florida, but the thing was we rented this car to drive there, and it was like some 2020 SUV, so it had them premium speakers, and it was really good to watch this in that environment, and I had a blast with it, but I didn't understand a single thing that was going on. Honestly, I really just think my eyes were open and my ears were open, and that was about it. My brain was shut off. And that was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done with a movie. This is definitely one of those films where you have to be paying attention every single moment, or you can miss something crucial to the story. So, if you have seen it only once and you didn't really understand it, I definitely recommend giving it a rewatch. It's definitely one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies, definitely one of his underrated ones. And yeah, overall, this is a really great film. Beautiful visuals, great acting, the action is incredible. I highly recommend it. Go watch it, or I'm gonna kill you. Okay, I don't know why I said that. My bad. I'm sorry. I rewatched A Quiet Place in my friend's theater room, and I really do appreciate this. Watching this movie is definitely a movie that you want to see in theaters, or like in a theater room or somewhere with really good speakers, so that way you can really appreciate the sound design. Yeah, it's just a great movie. I'm just gonna say, I mean, the only new thing was watching it with really good speakers, and sound design was incredible. Overall, this is a good movie. I mean, nothing really special because, I mean, it was just a rewatch. I'm not gonna really go in depth about it, but I'm going to be watching the second one soon, so I cannot wait for that.
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This.
Yeah, I rewatched WALL-E, and now it's my favorite Pixar movie. It's just a really beautiful film to me. I do think that the runtime is kind of slow, but I think that that's perfect for the film. It's a slower film, and I like that. I like that they were brave to do that, and it was a really brave idea for Pixar, because a lot of their other movies had been targeted towards kids who want like these fast-paced movies with characters like talking and action happening, and this one isn't really fast-paced. There's not a lot of talking in it. It's more visuals, and I really appreciate that from Pixar. I think that was brave, and they really paid off, especially to someone like me, who now thinks it's the best Pixar movie. But yeah, that's really it for WALL-E. Then again, was a rewatch. Not gonna go super deep into it, except that it's my favorite Pixar now. I rewatched The Last Jedi. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into this one again. It's just a normal rewatch. I do really like this film. I don't really get the hate about it. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. You can stop typing. You can stop typing that super mean comment. I do get the hate. Some of the characters aren't really likable. I get that, but I like this film. I think that this story works. I wouldn't say a character study, but it's not like a super big scale story of them trying to stop a giant spaceship like how episode 1 and episode 3 would be. And I do like this one. I do like The Last Jedi because it is a smaller scale story. It's just about the Resistance trying to survive, and you really do get that feel of how scary it would be part of that Resistance, how people just die like it's nothing, how they're just thrown away, and I really do think it captures that feeling very well. Overall, I think The Last Jedi is pretty good. I think it's solid, and I'm gonna stand by that. And I mean, I'm not gonna try to shove my opinions down your throat, because I mean, none of you guys have really done that to me, so I'm not really gonna do it. Overall, I think it's a good movie and a good sequel to The Force Awakens.
Had to have high for limit, did it for the skies and oh, we would kill it. But I always had a vision, hopes. Had to have high for limit.
I watched The Mitchells versus the Machines, and I really like this. As someone who wants to be an editor and an actor and someone part of film when I'm older, this really hit home. I do think all of the characters are likable in this film. The animation is beautiful. I definitely think it's one of Sony's better animated films, and I do think that it has the power to compete with Spider-Verse. But for now, I think Spider-Verse is going to stay number 2. Yeah, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is still probably my favorite Sony Pixar movie.
What did he say?
I actually watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, and I really liked the first one. I was kind of scared of the runtime, but I mean, I didn't really feel it. It was a really fun watch. I think all the characters are likable. I'm saying that about everything. All the characters are great. The action is great. The cinematography is great. Everything about it is great. The movie's great, and I do recommend it. It's great. I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and it's my favorite MCU movie now. Now, before you guys try to roundhouse kick me in the jaw before I can even get my words out, let me just explain why I like it. The movie it's probably one of the most, it has the best emotional moments out of all of the MCU in my opinion. The part with Yondu and Rocket Raccoon is a great scene, and the part when Yondu dies just really hits home. His character, I think they did a perfect job with his character arc, and I really wasn't expecting that the first time I watched it. And for some reason, I wasn't expecting it again the second time I watched it because I hadn't seen it in a really long time. Overall, I'm probably gonna go more depth into why I love this film even more. This video is already getting pretty long. So, I mean, if you want a video essay on why I like this, I probably will do one. But yeah, it's my favorite MCU film. I watched Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, and this is a mind-boggler. This one is super good. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it, but I wouldn't call the film underrated. I definitely think it's probably my favorite performance from Christian Bale, and I think Christian Bale and Rebecca Hall are so good in this movie. They're probably my two favorite actors in this film. I think Hugh Jackman and Michael Caine both do a really great job, but Christian Bale and Rebecca Hall were just really good. And it's so funny seeing Rebecca Hall in this, like, being a top tier, incredible, one of the best actors I've ever seen, to Godzilla vs. Kong, to being just like generic woman. I guess it's just because she's a really great actress and she can just change characters, because her character in this and her character in Godzilla vs. Kong are completely different. I also love the dynamic between Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman's characters, the way that they developed both of them slowly descending into madness, going to do literally anything to outdo the other. I think it was a cool twist on your little average generic revenge storyline, and I think that it really made the watch more enjoyable for me.
Oh, God! Sat on my nut.
Runner-up is actually going to be Ford vs. Ferrari. I did not think I was going to like this much. This is now one of my favorite movies. I really think this movie is just great. It's definitely one of Christian Bale's best performances. I still think Prestige is my favorite, but this is really a close runner-up. I think the character arcs between these two characters, the chemistry is incredible. One of the best I've seen in a really long time. And this movie is just really entertaining. Being almost 3 hours long, 2 hours and 20 minutes, I was really surprised that I was able to sit through this. And yeah, it's just a great movie. It has such a cool concept. The whole racing thing, having to race for 24 hours, I've never heard of something like that. I don't know if it's bruh. I'm just gonna get this. It's a good movie. Go watch it.
Come on, Tars. Come on, Tars.
This is 110% my favorite Christopher Nolan, and in my top 5 favorite movies. That's really all I'm gonna say, because I gotta save all the good stuff for the video essay. Overall, guys, yeah, that is what I watched this month. I hope you guys didn't fall asleep during this video, because it took a really long time to record and a whole lot longer to edit. If you guys did like the video, please leave a like down below and comment down below what you watched this month. Tell me what you liked about this video, what you didn't like about this video. Let me know if you want to roundhouse me in the jaw, and if you had any pleasure with doing that, because I put Killer Bean over Meet the Robinsons and Spirited Away. Overall, guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.